You can see that lake over there. It's still mostly ice, so you have to think about it. You know, even a day of 10 or 12 degrees would probably just melt a lake, or a good sup of rain. You know, and every time I see a lake that's frozen, it's May 18th or 19th or something like that. I'm just get the heebie-jeebies that I'm going to be walking into floods when I get up into, you know, far eastern Russia. Anyway, because we're obviously much lower here, and it's still frozen, and it's well after the middle of May. The roads today have been a mixture of, you know, this kind of gravelly stuff to muck, mud, sometimes really good, and then sometimes just fucking appalling. You know, they're doable. I've done probably 150, maybe 100 miles today so far on it. So that's not bad. You need to kind of limit your expectations down to 200 or 300 at an absolute maximum anyway. Anytime you stop here, I mean, anytime you stop, if somebody comes along in a car, they always get out to say hello to you. Always. Hey, how's it going? The bike. But obviously, I don't know what they're saying, but they're just looking at the bike, they're looking at you, smiling, hey, hey, hey. It's such a friendly country, you know, and it's beautiful beyond anything you could possibly imagine. This country is just gorgeous. Like, I mean, everywhere you look, mountains, snow-capped mountains, lakes, this kind of plains, you know. I don't have the words for it. It's just absolutely mind-blowing. roads have improved quite a bit today. Thankful for that. This is the road from Exvode to Altai. And it's alright, you know what I mean? It's great because there's only one trail. There's not 20 trails splitting off the whole time. And it's easy to follow, so happy days there, I guess. Just over that hill, it was cold, and here it's roasting. It's hard to know what the hell to be wearing, to be honest. It's too far to get to Altai today, so I'm going to try and do about, I don't know, 180 miles or something like that, and then just camp. So I got all my food and water and all that, so I'm kind of even looking forward to that, to be honest. What if just there you saw the, you know, Kublai Khan or Genghis Khan or Bantu Khan's hordes just coming over that? Like, what would you be thinking if you were sitting down having a yak stew, you know? It's hard to believe this is the same country that all that came from, you know, because it's, you know, it's an incredibly beautiful country, but any of the towns or settlements I've seen so far are really, really beat up. Really, really beat up. In Ireland, we have a saying, which is that if things are going well, say nothing, keep the head down. You'll only tempt the devil, you know, and things have been going too well that morning, because it wasn't long after this point that my rear shock blew. In Africa, the roads have rivets, and in certain parts of Mongolia, they have it too. And it's designed for 4x4, but the resonant frequency of those rivets, you have to hit a certain speed and maintain it. But the BMW shock that they use in 1200 is apparently an outsourced piece of Japanese kit, and it's not worth a shite. So only less than 100 miles into it, my rear shock blew. And it's an amazing thing. You don't realise what your rear shock is doing until it's gone, because I started bouncing around the place. Well, my back shock is blowing. Anyway, I don't know. Now, the rear shock blowing at any point in time is a terrible thing to happen to any motorcyclist, but when you're out in the middle of Mongolia and miles from anywhere, it's an absolute catastrophe. There's nothing then preventing the whole back of the bike down bouncing. You're riding the whole way down and bouncing off the tyre frame and everything. So it was gone, and I was saying to myself, having just come from Havde, the next town I was shooting for was the town of Altai. Now, not to be confused with the Altai region in Russia, this is a separate town. And I was kind of thinking, could I make it to Altai limping, or should I go back to Havde? And I'm trying to assess my options, so what do I do? Going back, that's, you know, Altai seems like it's a pretty big town. So I got to ride for 370 kilometers on a busted back shock. You know what I mean? I noticed it because all of a sudden the ride was jumping all over the place. It was just I couldn't bear having to retrace my steps over the same road, so I made a decision to struggle on towards Altai and see how I went. Well, I'm nibbling along at about, I don't know, 10-15 miles an hour. I'm trying to figure out, is Altai that way? That sign there, but I can't read it, and it seems the same thing. For both ways, it seems to say straight. That way. I'm just going to stop one more, just double check it and see how it goes. I'm trying to think of options. If I could get to Altai, could I get the bike delivered in a truck to Ulaanbaatar and then fly to Ulaanbaatar? In the meantime, try and order a new shock in. If I went back to Havde, I would have had to, order it. I would have been stuck there 10 days. The options would have been to throw it up in a truck, take it to Ulaanbaatar. Altai, looking at the map, looked like it was a bigger town, and I thought to myself, if I could get there, I'd have a much better chance of getting it up in the truck potentially. My back pannier keeps shaking loose, and I keep having to get off, unpack it, tighten it, pack it. I'm really struggling, you know. I'm really, really struggling. It's kind of going bad to worse as I'm going along here. The rivets in the road just won't fuck off. They won't go away and just turn into a dirt road. So without the back shock, it's just shaking the fucking bike apart. You know, and I can hear I just pulled in here because I just heard rubbing, you know. And I'm afraid to go back and have a fucking look and see what's rubbing, you know. Not because I'm afraid, not because I'm not able to fix it. Like, if I can fix it, I'll fix it, and if I can't, I can't. There's nothing I can do, you know. The bike continued to deteriorate until eventually the rear shock started hitting off the clutch connection cable. There's a thingy that spins. I don't know anything about equipment, but I mean, there's a thingy that spins that goes into the dry clutch. It's responsible. It spins, and it's what's it does something that makes the bike go. But anyway, it stopped working. Driving along here, you just torture yourself, you know, because you're saying, okay, well, I broke down, you know, the shock went 70 kilometres out of Cavd, right? Cavde. Should I have gone back to Cavde first? Was I wrong to push on? You know, can you drive a bike with the busted shock and just nurse it along? I don't know. So, you know, you make a call to fucking, to do it. And, you know, I don't know if it's the right one or not. The wind is fucking brutal. It just won't stop. And when you're going slow, you know what I mean, it's pushing you all over the fucking road. Gravel is heaped high. I've come off nearly 3 times and hit some of the biggest fucking potholes I've ever seen in my life. You know, the bike's fucked. There's nothing I can do with it. There's nothing I can do with it until I get to Ulaanbaatar. So I've just got to get the bike to there. Simple as that. The bike and myself, actually. Anyway, I'm just completely I've lost the plot. Completely. Do it without the parts, without the rear shock. I don't know who the fuck could drive on that road there without breaking something, you know what I mean? Like my bike, probably because the bike is overloaded, and the fact that I'm a fat cunt sitting up on the back of it doesn't help. You know, I stopped by this yurt and this young fella came out with a stick. It's my friend, Oisin. What's your name? Oisin. Nice one. So I think what I'm going to try and do is flag down a car, take my stuff back, and then go around the town, try and find a truck in the morning, maybe come back for the bike. I don't know, it sounds like a long shot to me, but and then I don't know what to do after that. Maybe find someone who can speak English, maybe ship the bike to, you know, Ulaanbaatar. I've no idea. It just all depends on if someone comes along. But I'm in my civilians now, in the old jeans and all, and no one's come in an hour. So it's just me and Futsu, but we're having a great time. The wind is absolutely driving me insane. I mean, I'm going mental. I'm going absolutely mental with it. It's just, at this stage now, I just feel like I'm going to have a fucking nervous breakdown. And, you know, we were sitting down chatting, waiting on help to come. And then these 2 other guys showed up on horseback. And they started pulling mobile phones out from underneath their satchels. And all of a sudden they found this girl who could speak English, and she just told me, says, "You're lost." She says, "Do you know where you are?" And I says, "Well, I think I'm on the road to Alta." She says, "Well, you're not." I says, "You're gone way wrong." And she says, "By the way, no help will come to where you are." And that was like a shock to the system. No help will come. So imagine you're stuck there, you have about a litre of water in your bag, you're stuck, and then somebody who's speaking English down the phone in a pretty distressed but firm tone telling you no help will come. And I fuck. So then I was saying to her, can these guys take me to a town, a small town, and could I limp the bike there? So we tied up the rear shock with straps, and I drove it behind them 50 kilometres to this, I don't know the name of the town or where it is, you know, but we got there hopefully hoping to look for a truck, but with the strap that the guys had tied up, and I had got the bike into second gear, I reckon, I said, well, how far is Alta? They said about 150 miles, and I said, well, maybe I'll try and do 75, then camp tonight and do the other 75 myself. So like a fucking idiot, I pushed on, and I was gone about 40 miles before I completely broke down, and everything was just a complete fuck story. So after the bike broke down, the wind was terrible. I couldn't even hear myself think. I was at the point of complete and utter despair. I really was. I was, at a minimum, I thought the trip was over. That was it. The bike was fucked, because as far as I could tell, it was broken about 5 or 6 different locations. You start to despair pretty quick when you start to hold your water bottle up and it's just got like something like that in the bottom of it. You know, and no truck has passed in an hour. Or nothing has passed in an hour, not to mind a truck. Not a fucking horse, not a camel, nothing has passed in an hour. And then this truck passed and I just stood right in front of the road so he wouldn't pass me. Now, he wouldn't have passed me anyway, but I wasn't taking any chances. You know, I'd spent a long time preparing for the trip and I could fix some things. You know, I'm serious. There was a couple of things I could fix if they happened. But no, I'm serious, a couple of things I could do. The most common failure items, but I couldn't fix this. We just couldn't get it going, so I just begged them to take me where they were going. And I was saying to them, look, will you take me to Ulaanbaatar or Altai? You know, and they looked at me and kind of laughed. And obviously I had managed to get myself lost again. I was off the road completely. So between the four of us, we loaded up the bike into the back of the truck. And it's a small truck and it's a big fucking bike, and it took everything the four of us had to get it up there. Just loaded up the bike up into this truck here. I just couldn't get around. The clutch had broke. The fucking everything had broken the bike, so it's game over. So I've got to bring it to Ulaanbaatar and try and get it fixed. And they drove me to a town. I have no clue where it was or anything like that. I'm sandwiched in a truck with this man here and two other lads who helped me get the bike back on the truck. I was completely broken down. Hey, how are you doing? These rivets which you can feel us driving over now, they just wrecked the bike. The shock is gone, the clutch, I can't change gear, which was actually an artifact of the fact that we strapped the shock in, and then with all the extra vibrations it just rattled loose the clutch cable. So I can't change gear now, can't do fucking anything. And what I'm going to try and do is we're going to, oh Jesus Christ, stay somewhere tonight. I'm not even sure where we're going. Hopefully I can convince them tomorrow to take me to Ulaanbaatar. If I drop enough cash, or at least maybe to a town where you can ship the bike. This is up there with the worst day of my life, but these guys are helping me out here. There's no reason to help me out at all, you know? No reason at all. Just some asshole over here on holiday riding a bike. Look. Man, it's going to be a long day. Not sure where exactly we're going. But we stopped about 20 miles short and had a homosexual orgy out in the middle of the desert. No, I'm only kidding. We didn't. That's the one that's gonna stick, isn't it? I think this is the town I was in earlier on. We're back, you can see it here. And tomorrow I think we're going to go to Ulaanbaatar, hopefully. And then whatever state the bike will be by the time we get it there, and then I'll either make a decision to fly home to Ireland. I'll try and phone BMW and see if I can get some stuff flown over, you know, someone to fix it. What happened was we drove in the middle of the night through some of the worst mountainy, dirty roads I've ever seen in my entire life, and rivers and everything, and arrived at this small little tiny settlement where there was barely electricity, and they brought me in to this hut, and in there was a crowd of people looking at me like I was Dr. Livingston after showing up, you know, at a wedding 200 years later or something.
Seni harno ko. O nya ito soga yang ke ya hatu tun orti le. Kino. Putla asno. Putla ya.
everybody. Say hey.
Yeah, but
Very good. Say hello. But I mean, these people were so poor. It was incredible. I felt terrible to be there, and you know, because you're on your big German BMW and your fucking enduro suit and all that sort of stuff, and you know what I mean. And these guys don't have a pot to piss in, and they're the ones who are helping you. So they make you a bit of grub, and boy, Jesus, grub is the fucking grub in the loosest definition of the word. What it is a bunch of flour rolled in water and then dipped in oil. That's it. And they give you that with something approximating tea, which is really water and old scratchings. And so there you go, and I'm kind of going, oh, thanks. Thanks for that. And I was drinking it, and I was just kind of going, and the stuff that I was drinking, are these are like scratchings is the only way, because it wasn't like it was vegetable oil. I'm sure it was like yak fat. You know, I am certain I'll die at 75, or before I'm 75. And when they do the post-mortem, they'll be there kind of going, you know, this fucker had yak fat in him. And that's why he died, because his arteries were sealed. After a while I realised that we'd actually only come here to fix the van which we were driving. It needed a weld at the front of the van truck, whatever you call it. But I was absolutely gutted when we started to get back on the road again. You know, I never wanted to just crawl into my tent and go asleep more in my entire life. It's 11 p.m. It's crazy days continues. Okay. Say hello. Hey, how are you doing?
Hello.
And where's the other fella there? You say, how's it going? So right now, the guys are getting their truck repaired. Looks like today is Wednesday. They're saying that they can get me out on Saturday, which is a 1,000 kilometre trip over completely terrible roads, which will take 2 days. It'll take 2 days, maybe even 3 days actually. Probably 3 days. And there's 4 of us going to be in the cab of the truck for 4 days together. I'm not kidding you. My Mongolian adventure just keeps getting better. Absolutely no idea what's going on. We drove off in the truck to somewhere. I think we're trying to find a place to stay for the night. All I really want to do is just find a place to pitch the tent and fucking put the head down, you know. I'm so fucking tired, it's unbelievable. But I have no idea what's going on. No, could be about to get slaughtered. That's what could be happening. Well, we've broken down on the truck. I don't even know where we're going, to be honest. I think we've probably travelled about 80 or 90 miles, but it's the second time the truck has broken down. And I have no fucking clue what's wrong with it. But to access the engine, you have to lift up the seat in the front. So I'm standing around the back of the truck here just beside the brake light to get out of the wind. It's absolutely freezing, you know. You know, it's like this day from hell will never ever end. You know, I swear to God, if someone had told me that this day was ahead of me, I would have never left Ireland. I swear to God, I never would have left. Never. God. Morning. My Mongolian odyssey continues. So right now I'm in a town, a small village, in the middle of nowhere. I don't know where it is actually, to be honest. It's about 100 kilometres from where we were last night. We didn't get here at like, I don't know, 2 a.m. Truck broke down 2 or 3 times. We were out at the other town, we were getting it welded. Man alive. I'm just looking at my cheese there. I don't remember ever looking so tired actually.
I think what's going to happen is I'm going to be here all day today, and absolute best case, we'll leave for Ulaanbaatar tomorrow. What I've done is I've offered the guys an extra $100 if they can leave tomorrow instead of today, or sorry, tomorrow instead of Saturday. If not, it'll be Saturday, in which case we'll be here for 2 days. And I mean, you know, these villages there's nothing in them, like it's a couple of yurts. That's it, so I really don't want to spend, 2 days here, to be honest. It's like pretty alright though now, in fairness, to be honest. But I think I eventually piece it out and get in here in about, 2:30, 3, but the dudes are talking till 4. To these people who are asleep, It was so cold in here last night. Like, we stopped on stage. I know an oil leak or something, your man fixed it. We're standing outside, in the cold for maybe half an hour. It's fucking freezing. These boys were doing it, They're hardy men, I tell you, they are hardy men. I'm starting to really get a feel for, how the Mongols conquered, half the world under Genghis Khan. Like, if they had lads like these with them, they would have had no problem at all. Anyway, I've no clue what's going to happen now. But today has got to be better than yesterday.
Oh yeah.
There's eagles everywhere, I can hear them. It's about 6 o'clock this morning here. There's nothing I'd like more than a baby wipe right now, I got some noodles, and they're boiling me up some water so I can eat the noodles. Actually, believe it or not, for those of you who know me well, you will find this very hard to believe, I didn't eat in 30 hours there. 30 hours straight, And I wasn't even doing a sponsored swim. 30 hours. And something, at no stage did I feel hungry. I think it was just because I was under a bit of stress,
Well, we're on our way to somewhere else. So what's going to happen is there's a bunch of guys going to move my bike from one truck to another truck tomorrow, and then bring it to this gentleman's house here, who I met in that town. He speaks English, which is very good. And now we're heading over to his house, which is down the dual lane highway here, as you can see it. Right? So Mongolia is continuing to surprise. I tell you one thing, it's a mad country, but it's beautiful. It's only 2 bad things: the road and the wind. That's it, road and the wind. So unfortunately, that just happens to be most of what I'm seeing.
Right now, all of a sudden now, I'm staying out here in these 3 yurts. Oh God, I don't want to be here, I know there's people out there touring and saying, oh no, you should make the best of the situation, and really try and get in touch with yourself and all that sort of shit. But fuck them, that's what I say. Fuck them and fuck the horse they gave me.